Mentioned Michael's halftime performance, and I'm a number one Michael guy, and this is what I will say about Michael's performance. I mean, the history of it, and I'm not sure if everyone's aware. I mean, the halftime show was pretty much nothing before Michael went out there and performed. The NFL begged him to do it because in Living Color at the time, I think it was the previous Super Bowl, or was it '92? They did that halftime special because nobody watched the halftime. And, basically, long story short, In Living Color kicked the NFL's ass in ratings. And so the NFL was like, well, look, we got to have a more entertaining halftime show so this doesn't happen. We don't lose advertisers or whatever. They reached out. They had to get Michael Jackson. It's the biggest fish out there. And they offered Michael Jackson $1 million or whatever. He declined them like 3 different times because he's Michael Jackson. Long story short, he does the Super Bowl halftime. I don't know if they paid him $1 million or not. They say that Frito-Lay paid his foundation, Heal the World, $100,000. And he went out there and did 4 songs, pretty much giving him their ass to kiss because he did Jam, Billie Jean, Black or White, and Heal the World. So you could tell he really didn't want to do it. He went out there and did 4 songs, had the highest rated television event of its time. I don't think it's still been broken. And ever since then, there's like, look, we got to follow this trend of getting big time performers so no one else takes our ratings away during halftime. Saying all that to say, Michael Jackson's performance was more about Michael Jackson just being out there as Michael Jackson, standing still for a minute or two. He didn't even perform his stronger records. He went out there and did Jam, did like Billie Jean for about a minute, gave you a little moonwalk, did Black or White, and did Heal the World. So, based on that, and I love Michael, his performance is definitely not better than Prince's because Prince actually went out there and gave you a show. Michael was like, look, donate this money, give me my bread, fuck out of here. Y'all using me for ratings anyway. Go for it.
So can we unpack? So you've unpacked the historical side of it. More great investigative reporting, Mike. Great job.
We got to have the facts together because people will go out there and try to change history, man. I remember reading from one of these publications. I don't want to call anybody out, but they were saying hip hop is on the stage of rock and roll and all that. I'm like, no, Michael Jackson created that stage. Don't get it twisted. Black music created this stage, so don't sit here and act like we have to conform anything. It is our stage, and we're taking our rightful stage. Go ahead. I'm sorry. History is important.
No, so when you talk about how Mike is giving them his ass to kiss, I want people to think about this. He's playing Jam, an NBA song at the Super Bowl. Mike's up there being shady live. He's playing an NBA-based song that the NBA is using for promotion at the Super Bowl. He's being funny, first of all. So you gave some historical background and context and investigative report. I'm going to give you some nuance. Mike's being funny on top of it, Mike. And even furthermore, to that point, and let's understand this. The reason why Mike gave them his ass to kiss is because Mike was kind of forced into that about the allegations and scrutiny he was under at the time. Mm-hmm. That's why Mike didn't like it, because Mike's team is like, no, we need to do this for your image. And that's why Mike gave them his ass to kiss. So if Mike doesn't even have those allegations at the time against him, he doesn't ever show up to perform for them. And this never even becomes a thing. Mike keeps on saying kiss my ass if he doesn't have allegations.
He did it for the kids, man. They donated the money to the kids, and
He didn't do that shit for the kids, Mike. He did that shit because the people around him told him. Mike can put up more money than the NFL could at the time for the kids, Mike. He was doing that shit because he was under scrutiny and he was trying to repair his reputation and his image.
And Mike's the greatest, in my opinion. Michael Jackson's the greatest performer of all time. He didn't go out there and try to give his best performance. He dialed that one in.
Yeah, James Brown, Prince, Michael Jackson. And if you don't get something stellar for them, that means that you pissed them off.
Mike is
they provide you with anything less than.
We talking about 1993. This man is over a 20 some odd year vet at that time as a performer. Yeah.
And he's not old physically yet. Like physically still in his prime in terms of performance capability.
He wasn't even 35 at that point, I don't believe.
But
So,
I mean,
yeah.
I was about to say, Mike, you're
Yeah.
not 40 for certain. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not. Yeah, he didn't get 40
So
until
he
like,
can
yeah.
go gigs still all night. Yep.
Yeah, that was 93. So, yeah, he's early 30s.
32, 33,
Yep.
93, about 33, 30.
And like I said, you could tell by the song selection that he was like, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Let me give you a moonwalk real quick and we'll just, keep it going.
This move. Play this NBA song at the Super Bowl, be out.
So with that being said, though, I think that, this whole notion that hip hop is on let's just keep it real. Black artists are on a white stage. It's not a white stage.
Dark stage.
It is, man.
Yeah.
And even if you bring it back to In Living Color being the interruption, it took a black sketch comedy show to make them even step their game up to the point to get a performer like a Michael Jackson to set the stage for what we're seeing now.
We run this town. We run this town.
I want to get back to this. I don't know, man. I think that. All right, this is what I will say about the houses thing, and I want to say something positive so we're not sounding like we're nitpicking too much. When I saw those individual houses, you know what I thought about? Like those individual sets that they had? Mm-hmm. I thought about that Source, the 95 Source performance, the Death Row performance, where they're all in different jail cells.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, okay, that's dope. That was kind of an ode to that. I thought that was really cool.
You did? I didn't.
You didn't like that?
No.
Okay.
I want to see Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg ride out in a 6'4" and play "Let Me Ride," "What's My Name," in deep cover. What part of this
you want to
is
hear deep cover?
Because that's what it's supposed to be. If we're not doing deep cover, can we do "Murder Was the Case"? Mike, they have performed "Murder Was the Case" at the Billboard Music Awards, American Music Awards. Can we do "Murder Was the Case"? Can we do something on Doggy Style?
All right, let's look at this. Let's look at that, right? You got 15 minutes.
6.
You got 15 minutes, right? Let's just say it was a Snoop Dogg and Dr. Dre show. They go out to next episode as the opener. They normally do that. You go from there, and then you go, "What's My Name?" Boom. You go from there, maybe throw in a gin and juice. And you want to give these guys a little bit of a rest or whatever, then you could bring Kendrick out or bring Eminem out to do Forgot About Dre or him just do Lose Yourself. Come back to like a Let Me Ride and then close out with a Still DRE.
Right.
I mean, is that too far-fetched?
No, Mike, you're not asking for too much.
I mean,
are you asking if you're asking for too much for them to play the records that made us love them so much?
G-Thang too, I'm sorry. G-Thang's in there too. So that's 15 minutes right there. So let's say you start off with next episode. Then you go into, What's My Name? And let's just say you go into Gin and Juice, or you could do a little intermission and get Kendrick or, Eminem involved, whatever. Come back, Let Me Ride with the 6'4" and all that. G-Thang, Still DRE, and you can close out with California Love, because I do think it being in LA, it should close out with California Love. And honestly, with all them songs I named, there really ain't no room for Eminem or Kendrick like that.
So, Mike, now that you've said all that, I'm giving them a 5. Giving them a 5.
You giving them a 5? Why?
Well, for the whole show, because I just realized, like, it was really everything that we said that it was. It's like all we really needed was Dre and Snoop in that 6'4".
That's all we needed. We're talking about a 15-minute window.
You need anything else? Like, the 50 show up was cool. They blew Mary's time with that poor music choice. I could have done without Eminem because he didn't perform Forgot About Dre. The show was about Dre. Should definitely perform Forgot About Dre. I guess Kendrick was there to do all right for our moment of blackness.
Let's just keep it real. That's what that was.
Right.
Kendrick shouldn't have been on the set at all. And I love Kendrick, but that wasn't his place to perform.
So you could have gave me my Chronic and my Doggy Style. Maybe thrown a little deep cover in there in a 6'4", and I would have been fine.
And I love Mary too.
They just lost 2 points. I don't even know why I was thinking about giving them a 7. This was some mid, Mike. You understand the songs you just named they didn't play?
Yeah. I love Mary too, but I think that it was unfair to Mary to relegate her whole 30-year career to one Dr. Dre produced song and half a No More Drama. She deserves a set on her own. You know what I mean?
We can't get like what's the song off My Life where like they got the dancers in it even in the video. It got the old Rick James beat to it.
I thought you were gonna talk about Just Fine. No?
Mike, I'm cool with Just Fine.
Yeah. Yeah, Mary could have done this herself, you know what I mean? And
I mean, Mike, we could have gone anywhere. If she was gonna go ballad, I mean, we could have gone like Everything or Not Gonna Cry or something like bigger than No More Drama. Like, let's go to some of her #1 hits. How about that?
and even with this whole thing of it being a Snoop Dogg and Dre thing, those two guys could have done that 15-minute performance and they could have performed songs that everyone knew. So it's not like they have songs that, you know, only certain heads know or something. Those songs that I named, and you close it out with California Love, like I said, they did it at Coachella. And for people who haven't seen the Coachella performance, it's streamed live on YouTube when it happened. I remember when it happened. I watched it live in 2012. Go look at it, look it up on YouTube, man. It's a great performance. They went an hour straight with just them. And then they were able to bring Kendrick out and do Compton. And I know times have changed with that or whatever, but yeah, man. I mean, if you want to keep it really LA and it being in LA and you want to keep the flavor of LA, I don't understand why they had to spread themselves so thin. Because this is the thing, crew. Shakira and Jennifer Lopez were able to just hold down their show together. And nobody's going to sit here and tell you that Jennifer Lopez has a stronger catalog than Snoop Dogg. No one's going to tell you that Shakira has a stronger catalog than Dr. Dre. So if those two could have just done their show by themselves, how come Snoop and Dre couldn't do that?
You're making valid. I mean, I know you're asking these questions in a rhetorical format, but you're making valid assertions with what you're saying. Because I had forgot about that show. Because quite frankly, I'm gonna tell you what about that show didn't slap. The music. They ain't got no hits like that. They ain't got no bangers like that. Like, I get what you was trying to do, and I get it's, you know, physically appealing for the male audience to look at.
Well, it was in Miami, so they were trying to cater to a Latin American,
community,
you know what I mean? Yeah.
South American,
and
Latin,
that's cool.
American.
That's
no.
cool.
There's nothing wrong with catering to an audience. It's what.
But they were in LA. Y'all should have catered to Long Beach and Compton.
So, Mike, this is what I'm trying to say. From somebody who lived out there, that has family out there now, who goes back there. When I'm saying deep cover, everybody out there on the West Coast know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about the embodiment of that feeling of what made us gravitate towards him. And it was the back and forth of the chemistry. Deep cover is where it starts. That's why I keep bringing it up. It's like, no. Start with where it started, because you're in LA where it started. So deep cover, G-Thang, Let Me Ride, the Candy Red 6'4" from the, no, all of that. Murder Was the Case, Snoop coming out in the wheelchair. No. That's why we love you. So do that.
You know, and again, I know that Joe Bro and some other people.
Big problem. I'm sorry, Mike. Just let me finish this.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Big problem with people in this business not doing what got them there in the most prime and biggest and opportune moments. We have a problem with it. It's almost like, let me give them this watered down shit. No. How about you do that shit that got you here? How about that?
Because the thing is, man, I think I saw a comment where DeCarlo said that it'd be too hip hop if it was just those two. So my question would be, how much of a win for hip hop was this show if they had to go down this route to get on the stage?
That's why I'm trying to tell you, Mike, if Wu-Tang Clan has to show up and they're telling them they can't do shadow boxing, I don't want it. If I don't hear shadow boxing, let it be because the artist doesn't want to perform it. Because if you're telling me you want hip hop, then shadow boxing belongs. And just on some real rap shit, it's a better song than Triumph. So
it's like, no, don't tell me this is a hip hop show if y'all not wanting us to bring some hip hop.
Right. So if we can't play deep cover, and that's where Dre and Snoop got their start, then that means that you don't want Dre and Snoop. That's why I keep bringing up deep cover. If you're not taking the start, then you're not really taking